another one of my cousins is here, and we are talking about healing after loss. Today, actually, now I would just go ahead and let her introduce herself.
My name is Kimberly. I'm a mother of four. I have two stepchildren that are boys and two children that are biologically mine. I have one that is deceased and one that is in prison. I've been married 20 years now, and I am a special ed teacher.
Okay. Thank you so much, cousin, for actually coming on.
No
It's a
problem.
pleasure to have you. So, I hear that it's two different ways that you no longer have your biological children with you
Right.
today. Okay, so I just wanted to know first off, how are you feeling today?
To be honest, if we can be honest,
Yes,
I have my
please.
days. Today, I depressed, and other days I can be energetic. I have the energy, whereas I'm out and about. But lately, I've been depressed, and so I've been at home lately.
Okay.
Lately,
Do that have anything with coming on my show?
it doesn't.
Oh, okay,
It
okay.
doesn't. To be honest, it doesn't.
Okay, that's good to hear. Okay, so you actually have already kind of shared a little bit about your boys, which
Hmm.
is um, something that is actually what we're talking about today. So I just want to know a little bit about how did you cope or are you coping with neither one of your biological boys actually being here with you?
With the oldest one, the one that's in the penal system, I actually cope with him because I talk to him almost every single day.
Mm, beautiful.
So I'm able to see him, visit with him virtually and in person,
Mm, mm,
and I'm actually able to talk with him.
mm,
So that's my way of coping with him.
mm,
But with the youngest one, it's different. I actually lost him when he was 8 years old
okay.
with acute myeloid leukemia. And so that one has been very difficult,
Mm,
not just for me, but for his brother as well, because they were best friends.
right.
Um, so I'm learning to cope with that one, but
Mm,
I'm still struggling. And it's been 16 years now.
mm, mm,
16
mm,
years. It's been over 16 years.
mm,
So
mm,
I'm still learning to cope with that one.
mm, mm. So that lets y'all know right there that it is a process. I just gotta give you a hug, my
Oh.
cousin. Okay, and that's something because that's my cousin too, so it's a touching moment for me as well. But it's good to actually be able to hear you actually conversating about it.
Hmm.
Okay, so how do you kind of, or how did you kind of manage after the, or rest after the loss? So after the first one, how did you rest, or did you
So,
even get rest?
so with the youngest one, I'm still not resting
Mm,
with that
mm,
one. It'd be
mm.
days I'll be up, walking around the house, can't sleep,
Okay.
watching TV. So I still don't sleep through the night. And it's like I said, it's been 16 years. I still don't sleep through the night for that one.
Mm,
Um, and sometimes when I do fall asleep, I he's in my dreams sometimes.
mm,
So um, I'm still learning to cope with that one. I know I've been to therapy, and the therapist said
mm,
find
mm,
ways
mm.
to cope with him, do things that he liked to do. So
Yes.
one thing that I did is that for me is he has two different birthdays. He has
Okay.
the birthday he was born here on Earth, which was
Right.
March 30th of 98, and then it has his going home celebration birthday. Some people call it a funeral, the day he passed
Mm.
away, but for me it's a going home
Yes.
celebration,
Yes.
um, because he's up in heaven now.
Mm-hmm.
So that was on January 17th of 2008.
Mm, mm, mm.
So either or, one year I may celebrate his going home celebration.
Okay.
And I usually start at the cemetery where we do prayer, we sing songs,
Mm.
we laugh and joke, and then we do a balloon release, and then may go out to dinner and usually I have gifts for the
Okay.
kids or for the family of things that he likes or liked at the time. Where there is,
Right.
so I usually will package like candies he liked and
Okay.
chips and
Aw.
fruit and stuff like that. So I will do a gift bag with that kind of stuff in it. And then on the opposite year, it would be his the day he was born, his
Right.
birth year. And I would do the same thing, start out the same way, going to the cemetery where we do prayer, scripture, and we sing songs, and then we laugh and joke, and then we get in our cars, go have dinner or lunch or whatever it may be at the time, and then do a balloon release and have cake and ice cream and whatever. So
Right.
that's my way of dealing with it. I know one year, the first year he passed away, we did a skate party,
Oh.
and we did it for just children. And it was our church family, friends and family, whereas we just paid for all the kids
Right.
to skate. So it's just finding ways to deal with
Yes.
deal with the loss.
Right.
Now with the oldest one, like I said, that's very different because, like I said, I talk with him almost every day.
Right.
We email each other back and forth. I talk to him over the phone. I visit with him and do virtual visits.
Right.
So that's a very different loss.
Right.
So I don't grieve as much with him as I do with
For the
Tony.
youngest.
Right.
Right. Well, you kind of already answered the next question, which is how is it that you, or have you ever considered therapy?
I have. I actually did a few therapists.
Okay.
I did one that is a pastor,
Okay.
and I reached out to him last week because I was actually so depressed within the last month, so depressed that I needed someone to talk to.
Yes.
I was having suicidal thoughts,
Mm.
didn't know what to do, just felt like I didn't have anyone to talk to.
Right.
And so many people say prayer, and it's the answer. There are times whereas I can't even pray. So I find myself praying for others, but when it comes to praying for myself, it has been a struggle.
Right.
And I tend to bottle stuff up
Okay.
and not share with anyone. So I reached out to my therapist. So I'm still waiting on a phone call from him because, like I said, some days I go through suicidal thoughts, and whereas I don't feel like being in here. But then what makes me not,
Can I have one of those?
what makes it different or makes me not commit suicide, because I'm very spiritual.
Yes.
And I know that if I commit suicide, I may not make it to heaven to see him.
Right.
And that's the only reason I haven't committed suicide. So I'm grateful for that, that I know the word, but I just have to apply it
Right.
when I get in that space. Sometimes will contact my coworkers or my siblings or my mom, and I
Right.
will talk about it. And sometimes that helps, but
Right.
lately, nothing has helped. And there's only one sibling that I have contacted about it. That she will come up here from Texas, and we would talk. And yeah,
Hey,
that's been it.
cousin. Shouts out to you, baby.
And she was on your show a few weeks ago, about a month ago.
Yes,
So yeah,
yes.
we talk about it all the time, and so it's been very helpful just talking to her. But I need more.
Right.
And in a situation like this, where I'm in a different space now,
Right.
it's best to seek professional help.
Yes.
And I know that last week I actually seen one of my sorority sisters that's a counselor, and I said, I need to talk to you.
Yes.
And, we need to get together. So she said, call me. I said, I need your information. She said, you got my number. Just call me. So I said, I may have to do that. Call her and just let go.
Yes,
Just let go. Release it.
Yes.
You know, so.
You've been blessed with 2 more sons, though.
Mhm.
And then you've been blessed with other kids that just, yo, you have to give that special attention to.
Mhm.
So although they're not here with you day to day, you
Mhm.
still have that.
I do.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
It's beautiful. It
Because I've
really
had,
is.
like I said, I have 2 stepchildren that
Mhm.
are, and all of my boys are grown, ranging from 26 to 32, all 2 years apart. So the baby would have been 26. That's the one that passed. The one that's in the penal system is 28.
Okay.
Then I have the 30-year-old who's also in the penal system, and then it's the 32-year-old that was in the army.
Mm,
So, yeah.
Yes. Wow. So you kind of told us a little bit about what is helpful for you as you navigate through all of this. What is something that you think is really special for you?
What do I think that is special?
Yes.
Um,
I know you said talking to other people, but what's something for you besides just praying? Is there anything else?
I think having family around, having the family and friend support
Okay.
is special. Knowing that there's somebody else that has been in my situation
Right.
that have had a loss
Okay.
has been very special. I know no matter what time of the day or night, I can call my sister, I can call my mom, and there's certain friends that I can call.
Right.
You know, but have I reached out to all those people lately? I haven't. And I know that they have my best interest in my back. You know, it's one particular friend that I used to talk to a lot. We used to email or text here and there and talk. And so lately, it's been about a month now. We haven't been able to do that. But I'm grateful for him. You know, I am.
Right.
Because he used to let me vent, you know, say what I
Right.
needed to say and just let me talk, you
Right.
know. And then he would come with the hard questions, cousin. And it makes me say,
It makes you
know,
think, huh?
makes me think. So lately, you know, we haven't had those conversations or anything like that. So,
And then again, you answered another one of the questions already. Is pretty much how are you emotionally, and you pretty much then shared that as well as speaking to other people. Is that something that helps? And you already explained that it's good to release
it is.
and just to express, and people not judge you or they not put you in a space where you already feeling, where you feel worse than what you already feeling. Like it's beautiful. Is there anything that you avoid doing because it's just too painful for you?
Sometimes I avoid, and that's not with the oldest one at all, because like I say, I see and talk to him all the time.
Right.
But for the youngest one that passed away, I avoid sometimes looking at his picture. I avoid sometimes going to the cemetery because those are painful times.
Right.
Sometimes I wish he was here. Sometimes, you know, because when he was here, I always, you know, when he got ready to leave for school, like I said, he was 8 when he passed away. So when he would leave for school or before he would go to bed, he would say, for bedtime, "Good night, Ma, I love you. See you tomorrow."
Right.
And I don't hear that anymore. So, but I continuously play it in my mind.
Right.
You know, I don't hear his voice. So going to the cemetery sometimes I avoid it. You know, I look at his picture sometimes. I usually kiss it sometimes. And I always say, you know, Mama's going to come to see you tomorrow or whenever.
Right.
But then I don't have the strength to go
Right.
out there because it's painful, you know, to have to look up at a wall and look at his picture. So, yeah.
Yeah, he
Sometimes I
understands.
avoid having the conversation
Right.
like we're having now. Sometimes I avoid it. I avoid letting people know how I feel
Right.
um, because it can be painful.
Right.
So I suppress what I'm feeling at the time. And some people say you need to let go. You know, you need to let people, because it can drive you crazy.
Right.
And at this point, these last few weeks, it has been driving me crazy because I
Right.
have so much anger built up.
Right.
And it's just not him, his situation, but I have a lot of stuff that's built up.
Right.
So sometimes I feel like going to the rage room, you know.
Right.
I feel like breaking stuff, putting holes in walls.
Do you ever do it?
I don't. I
Why
don't.
not?
Girl, who gonna repair that wall? Look,
Listen, go to the. Hey, they got the gun range. They got a place where
You
you
know.
can just go in there and just break stuff. It don't have to
I
be
know
your
they
home.
have the rage room, but I haven't went yet. And I contacted a friend a
You
few
want me
days
to
ago.
go? We could go. Look, I'll go with you,
You know,
cousin.
I
Look.
contacted a friend a few days ago. I said, "Girl, we need to go to the rage room because I got so much built up anger."
Yes.
And so we gonna do it. When I find somebody like you say, you will go.
If you don't, if she
Look.
don't, I will. Call me. Believe me.
So I
for
just
real.
want to break some and
Yes.
be able to just release everything.
Yes.
So that's where I'm at right now.
Yes. And it's getting there.
Sometimes I tell God, yeah, I said it's your fault. Because when I got the call that he was unresponsive. I was actually out with two of my sisters that morning, and we were supposed to meet with Make-A-Wish Foundation. And I got the call from my husband, and my oldest son was there at the time. And he's the one that told my husband that my youngest son wasn't responding. And my husband went in there. He contacted me, was like, he's not responsive. And he called paramedics and for us to meet at the hospital. Instead of me and my sisters going to the hospital, we went to the house, and they were sitting there trying to revive him. And I called out his name as they were doing CPR, and I heard him say, I said, baby, you got to make it, don't go nowhere. So we got up and went to Children's Hospital, and I remember them saying that he was gone, and I had my family surrounded by me. His spiritual god mom was there, and I just broke down. So it was a painful day. I remember when I first found out he had cancer. Your dad came all the way from Texas to be with me for a whole week. And then when he passed away, your dad was there for another
Shout out
whole
Dad.
week.
Hey.
So, I appreciate that because I needed that.
Yes.
My mom was there. My husband, of course, was there.
Yes.
But it was a difficult time. And right after he passed away, 10 days later, my mother-in-law passed away. And wouldn't you know, both of their birthdays are the same month. But
Wow.
yeah, so both of their birthdays same month, and they both passed the same month, 10 days apart. So.
Is there like any resource groups that you have or you didn't that you go to just to like speak with other people who already went through things like you?
There's not. I actually have a coworker that lost her son in April. And I didn't know this at the time. I just found out maybe 2 months ago that she lost her son. And I reached out to her. And, we talked for a little while and everything. But there's no specific group I go to. Let me tell you, if I did, I probably wouldn't feel like I feel today. So besides counseling, there is nothing else I've done besides talk to my pastor, talk to family and friends, and went to therapy. That's it. I went to 2 different therapists at that when I lost them. So
How has grief grief, you kind of already answered it, evolved over time? Like, how has it kind of evolved over time or changed over time? I know you said you still go through them times, but is it a little better than it was when it first happened?
Um, it has gotten better,
Okay.
and then after a while, you know, it feels like the first time when I lost them.
Mm.
So it's times where I feel like things is going well, but then when I'm sitting at home and my mind is just wandering, it's like, wow, you know, I'm here alone. You
Mm.
know, my kids are gone,
Right.
you know, and sometimes I say, you know, what reason do I have to be here on earth, you know? So it's not always easy.
Right.
Things do not always get easy
Right.
because sometimes you end back up in that same space,
Hmm.
um, and you feel like you don't have anyone.
And that's
So,
what's like triggers
right,
it for you.
right.
Hmm. So, do you feel like you give yourself permission to heal, or do you feel like you even need to give yourself permission?
I think I need to give myself permission um, because I don't think that I fully released and cried out.
Right.
I don't think that there's been a time where I just completely, and I think it's because when he first passed away, let me tell you, when my kids were younger, we were in church all the time. We would leave
Hmm.
our church, go to our sister church,
Yeah.
and my kids would be like,
Oh.
ugh.
We
You know
always
how it
gotta
was
go
because
to
we was going to church
church.
and we would have to sing, you know. We
Yep.
would go True Foundation, then leave True
Hmm.
Foundation, have to be in another church to sing and stuff
Yep.
like that. So, or have to be in rehearsal.
Yep.
So you knew how it was. But my kids would be like, oh, we got to go to another church. And so I'd be like, yes. So we would go to the other church and then go have dinner and things like that. So with us constantly being at church almost every week, Bible studies, family night,
Right.
um, women's night, men's night, and you
Revival
know
night.
stuff like that.
Yep.
When we would have to be at all of those during the week, and then we had rehearsals, and at that time I was on praise and worship at the church. When we had to do all that, then have to be at our sister church and stuff like that during the after evening and stuff like that. My kids got tired, so I was like, we were very into church at the time. So when my son passed, you know, before he passed, I remember the family coming together and we all, as they're working on him, grabbed hands and my grandmother was there.
Hmm.
And his godmom said, pray, Kim. And I got to praying. And at that time, all I could think of is Jesus, how he died for our sins
Right.
and how they beat him. He died for our sins and he rose again 3 days later. I thought my son honestly would do the same thing. That my
Right.
son would pass, and they would say, "He ain't gone.
Right.
He
Three
back here."
days later.
It didn't even have to be 3 days later. It could have been the same day. We was able to resuscitate him. So when that didn't happen, I blamed God.
Mm.
I blamed God, and at times I still blame God.
I was just gonna say, do you
At
still
times
blame
I
him now?
still blame God. Because I'm like, how can you take him from me?
Right.
I didn't have much time with him. Why? And I can tell you there was a point in time, and I regret this. My oldest son, I went through a lot with him because they was like this. They was
Right.
best of friends. They would competition in school, who would get the better grades. When one fought, if the oldest one fought somebody, the youngest one would jump in it, or if somebody was messing with the oldest one, the youngest would go body slam him in school. So he was always getting suspended.
Right.
So when he passed away, the youngest one passed away. My oldest one gave me hell. Hopefully, I can say that on your show.
You can. I
But
can
he
imagine.
gave me hell.
Yes.
And at one point, I said, it should have been you.
Ooh.
Because you're the one that gives me the most grief.
Right.
It should have been you that God took, not him.
Right.
But then I remember there was a time where he had to get this tube put in his chest for his meds and stuff. And I remember him laying there. And I said, "You okay?" He said, he just shook his head. I said, "You want to pray?" We prayed. I said, "You scared?" He said, "I'm a child of God, and God is, and Jesus is with me."
Whew.
So I remember that. And then when I remember that, I say, you know what? God took the right one. He took the one he wanted to take, and it was that one, you know, because being 8, he knew the word. Because like I said, we always was in church. He knew the word. So God took the right one. Yeah. He knew which child to take. So, yeah.
And man, so the next question, you pretty much is, it's just flowing, like literally, which is beautiful. And I just want to tell you, you look amazing. Like literally, like if I did not know you, I wouldn't know that you have went through so much.
Girl, look, being almost 50.
Look, 50. Wait, hold on. I'm your cousin. I ain't even know it was almost 50.
Look, I be like, look, I'm close to 50.
Well, it's a blessing because you look good.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're welcome. So,
girl, yes, I'm close to 50. Lord have mercy. I'm getting there, y'all. A few more years. Look. So I may look it, but I don't feel it at all.
Look, and that's good. That's real good.
Look, I got, it's 13 of us. My mama has 13, y'all. And I'm the oldest of 13. And I can say, out of 13, I'm probably the only one that ain't got gray hair yet.
Well, evidently you doing something. You know, people usually say when you lose someone and things like that, you get stressed out and worried and gray hair
and everything.
And all of that. Your skin start to get wrinkled, but
look, it's just the grace of God, girl. That's all.
I know what it is. You turn to your
I
spiritual
look
group.
what I've been through.
Look, you turn to your spiritual group. You stayed in the yes. You stayed with your religious group, yes, and they supported you all the way through.
It's a good thing to know. I do not look how I feel.
Yes.
So.
Yes, that's
it's
a
God.
beautiful thing.
It's God.
Yes.
So look, but I've been working out lately. So.
Hey, I'm coming too. Hey, wait, where we going tomorrow? Right?
We can go tomorrow.
Okay, yep, let's
go. Just be prepared to stay in a little 2.5, 3 hours. Look, the sister be working out.
Yes, let's go. That's a relief too.
Yes.
You know, that helps get some stress and stuff off of your body as well.
It does.
And it work out good, y'all.
It does.
It's good. If y'all don't do it, tap into it.
And look, not to mention I'm a special ed teacher too. Lord have mercy. That's a stressful job, y'all.
That's what I'm saying. You got to get them special attention. So
look, I be like, come through, girl. But look, being in the sorority too, so.
See, you got other things going for yourself. Yeah.
I am, but I don't do my sorority life like I want to.
Okay.
So I haven't been doing that like I want to.
Is there a reason?
Life. Life be lifing. Grief be happening. And I tell you, these last few months, grief has been happening. So.
Yeah. Well, it's a time, maybe this will help you so you can just get out. Maybe that's what it needed to. You needed to share with just more than just us, the family, or your support, your spiritual group. You needed to share with more people.
Right.
So a lot more can tap into you.
They can.
Yes. Because you strong and you look beautiful. So it's something that you doing right that can help other people.
Well.
Literally. Have you came up with anything to continuously allow your kids' legacies to live on? I know the oldest is not gone, but with him out here, do you have any kids or anything that you attached to?
He does. He has 2. Okay. One I don't get to see.
Okay.
And the other one, which is his son, that's here in Milwaukee. So the situation that happened allows us not to see him.
Okay.
And so with the oldest one, which is his daughter, I call her my little mini me. I haven't seen or talked to her um, in about a year now.
Mm.
Um, but that's my heart, you know.
Mm.
So I haven't talked to her in about a year now, and that's been another grief um, that I've had because with him not being here,
Right.
you know, she was my everything.
So it's
So
a process. So
it
maybe
is.
you just allowing, it's just God allowing you to go through everything to
Mhm.
get yourself in this healing process
It
so
is.
that you'll be a whole lot um, better for her, so that you won't be so emotional and you'll be able to connect
But
with
I
her
don't
on
think
a.
that being around her was a joy for me.
Hmm.
You know,
That's what I'm saying.
was a
But
joy, but
it had to kind of take you away from it so that you can connect to you and tap into you.
could be.
So then when you come back with her, you're giving her more of your strength,
It
which
could
is
be.
you got to gather more. That's why we
Could
here
be.
today on the show, because we got the love strength and we strengthening love for everybody
Could
else.
be. Could
So
be.
it's time, you
It
know?
is.
And of course, you done been going through it. So we got to get ready and wrap this up. So is there anything, because it's then got dark, but the view is so beautiful.
It is. Shout out to our person behind the
Cameraman.
camera who's been
Say
doing an awesome
Quentin,
job
shut
back
up
there.
the hustle. So is there anything that you would like to tell others that are going through the same situation, or have been going or have went through the same situation and have been trying to find other ways to connect?
I would say find things that that person that you lost like to do. Um, and not only that, find or surround yourself with people that support you in
Yes.
your time of grief.
Yes.
That's what helps.
Yes.
Whether it's your spiritual counselor,
Yes.
like your pastor or your minister, or your evangelist, or find a therapist.
Yes.
That because those people can really help in your situation. You don't want to be like me and let things um, fester.
Mm.
You don't want to let things fester because it can be
Mm.
detrimental to your health and even to you.
Yes.
So I would say find things that that person like to do. My son love to eat. Girl, I'm for real. My son love to eat. He can have a
So
Big
that
Mac
means you
meal.
cook a lot.
You know what?
Not as much no more.
I don't cook as much
Okay.
anymore. My husband does most of the cooking. I cook
Okay.
here and there. And he still cooks like the kids are home, and I have to get on him about it. So lately, like I said, it's find things that that person like to do. Like I said, my son loves to eat. He can go to McDonald's and have a Big Mac meal, and I can have a Big Mac meal back in the day. He'd be like, "Mom, if you don't want your food, give it to me." But you just had two Big Macs, an order of fries, two apple pies, and a drink, and you still hungry. So things like that. I would say find things that they like to do. Find places that they like to spend their time at, games, and find people that you enjoy being around that you wouldn't mind opening up to.
Yes.
Those things can really help. And it's very helpful to find someone that has went through the things you have went through when it comes to losing someone.
Yes.
I know you lost your brother,
Yes.
and I remember talking to your dad, which is
Yes.
my uncle, my favorite uncle at that. And I just told him, if you need somebody to talk to lean on, just call me.
Right.
Because I
Do
tell
we
you,
do it?
we talk every now and then. But
Okay.
I'm picking up that phone more than he is.
You hear that, Dad? It's time to pick up the phone a little bit more.
And he will come out and visit if I call him and stuff like that. And we hang out together here and there. But yeah. So if I need to vent, sometimes I'll call him. But
Right.
I know I have a support group, and I just have to use it. And for
Right.
those of you that are going through the same thing of when it comes to losing a loved one,
Yes.
find a support group that can really help.
Yes.
So
So, last question before we go ahead and get up out of here. Do you believe if your two sons was here with you today or have been with you throughout the time
mhm.
that you've been around, would it have changed the person or the woman that you are today?
That's a good question. I think so.
Mm,
I think my faith or me being into church would be, I would be probably more active in church.
okay.
I'll probably be more active physically. I
Mm,
probably wouldn't be in a house as much.
okay.
Um, so yeah, I definitely think losing them has played a big part.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, I do.
okay. We wrapping it up. Oh, thank you again.
Sure. Thank you for having me on your
No
show.
problem. It's just such a blessing just to have you to be able to express that. We never got to have this kind of talk, and it's good that we finally able to have it.
It is. I mean, like I said, I don't talk very much. I don't let how I feel out very much, but if
So
someone asks, I
I said last question, but this my last question for real. Is there like if people wanted to connect with you and you start your own support group,
mhm.
would you be interested in that?
I would. I would love to start a support group,
Okay.
whether it's online, in person. I actually thought about starting a foundation in
Mm,
my son's honor
okay.
because he was so much into school
Yes.
um, and didn't like to miss school and loved getting the grades. I would say that I would love to start a education foundation for
Did you
him.
hear what he said? He said a podcast. You
I
trying
thought
to
about a
step on over to the world of
I
podcasting?
thought about a podcast. Honestly, before when you had one, I thought about a podcast, but I was like, I don't even know how to start one started up.
Hey, look,
I
you
would
got
need
two
some
people right
sponsors.
here. You got
I
two
was like, I
people.
would want some sponsors.
Look, hey, but we can all start. I mean, if you interested in that, we can hook up. We can help you get started,
Yeah.
and you can get some supporters out here and start your own group. Maybe that will kind of help you um, start, going through the healing process a little bit better than you have
Mhm.
been.
Yeah. So yeah, I thought about it. But of course, I'll be listening to that 101.7, the Truth Radio. Give a shout out to them.
Shout out.
Especially DT and
Okay.
Tally.
If he ever see this, shout
So
out.
I love, that's one of my favorite, besides, I love Sherman Hughes, and I definitely love Tori Lowe.
See, you get in the world of podcasting,
So
maybe you can link
yes.
up with them. You know
So,
what
but
I mean?
I would say I would need to get in front of DT, be like, girl, help me.
So
You that
look.
communication coach.
So tell our viewers, if you wanted to start like a group or something, how would they be able to contact you if they wanted to kind of be part of your group or something?
So right now I'm on Facebook as
Okay.
Kimberly Evans-Green.
Okay.
So you can definitely reach out to me on there.
Mm.
You can also call my line, 414-367-9394.
Okay.
Again, that's 414-367-9394.
Yes. She always is up to speaking with other people. And if y'all have information that can help her, please feel free to contact her so that y'all can collaborate together and heal. It's time to heal, y'all. We got big things to do. You not leaving this earth yet. He ain't called you home, baby.
Not
You a
yet.
teacher out here. You got other sons. You got other family members. Girl, it's not time for you to go nowhere.
Yes. Sometimes I just feel like we got to share our stories.
Yes,
So coming
yes.
together as a group, sharing our stories
Yes.
could benefit somebody else.
Yes. And that's what we working on. So with that being